Welcome to another story made by Oracle 1. The Order of the Unnamed. Episode 1. Initiation without memory. The first thing they stole was her name. The second thing was everything else. She remembered the sensation more than the event itself. A cold hand pressing against her forehead. A whisper spoken in a language that seemed older than breath. And then a flood of white light that washed through every corner of her mind. Faces dissolved. Voices vanished. Childhood scattered like ashes into the wind. When the light faded, she stood among hundreds of strangers beneath a cathedral that had no ceiling. Stars looked down through black stone arches. Candles floated without chains. Thousands of white masks stared silently from marble statues lining the endless hall. Someone struck a bell once. Its sound never ended. "Welcome," an old voice echoed through the impossible chamber. "You have arrived with the greatest gift." Silence answered. "You have arrived with nothing." She looked down at her hands. Small scars crossed her knuckles. Calluses lined her fingers. Whoever she had been, she had worked, or fought, she couldn't tell which. Around her, dozens of young men and women blinked in confusion. Some cried quietly. Others simply stared into the distance, their expressions empty. No one spoke. Perhaps none of them remembered how. A figure cloaked in white descended the staircase ahead. The robe shimmered like fresh snow, but its hood concealed everything except a porcelain mask carved without features. No eyes, no mouth, no identity. "The past breeds weakness," the masked figure announced. "The future demands obedience." Its voice seemed to come from every direction at once. "You no longer possess names. You no longer possess history. You belong only to the Order." The recruits lowered their heads almost instinctively. She didn't. Something inside her resisted. Not loudly. Not defiantly. Simply. Refusing. The masked figure stopped directly before her. Even without eyes, she felt it studying her. "You hesitate." She began. The word felt strange. Who was I? The question frightened her. "I don't know." "You no longer need to know." The figure placed a gloved hand against her forehead. Cold spread through her skull. "Forget." Darkness brushed against her thoughts. Something tugged at the edges of her mind. Searching. Hungry. Looking for whatever remained. Then, pain. Sharp. Blinding. Not from the figure. From somewhere inside herself. A single memory refused to move. A boy laughing beneath golden trees. A wooden sword. Warm sunlight. His voice. "You'll always remember me." The masked figure suddenly pulled its hand away. For the first time, it stepped backward. Interesting. Hours later, the recruits gathered within a circular courtyard surrounded by towering obsidian walls. No windows. No doors. Only endless corridors disappearing into darkness. Each recruit received identical clothing. Gray robes. Black boots. Plain leather belts. Nothing that distinguished one person from another. One of the instructors paced before them. "You require identifiers." He pointed toward the first recruit. "You are 8. The next. You are 31. Another. You are 104. No names. Only numbers. When the instructor reached her, he paused. His head tilted slightly. "You." Silence lingered. Then, "You are 0. The courtyard grew noticeably quieter. Several instructors exchanged brief glances. 0. Not first. Not last. Nothing. The beginning of absence. Training began immediately. Swordsmanship. Archery. Meditation. Languages spoken only during eclipses. The Order demanded mastery of body before mind. Every mistake earned punishment. Every success received silence. Praise did not exist here. Only usefulness. Days blurred together. Or weeks. Or months. Time held little meaning inside the monastery. Without memories, every sunrise felt like the first. Yet something kept bothering 0. The others accepted emptiness. She couldn't. Every night, fragments returned. Not dreams. Pieces. A hand reaching toward hers. A voice saying, "Stay close." A smile she couldn't fully see. Always the same boy. Always just beyond clarity. She awoke every morning with tears she couldn't explain. One evening, during silent meditation, an elderly instructor approached. Unlike the others, his porcelain mask had cracked across one eye. The fracture revealed wrinkled skin beneath. Human. Imperfect. He stopped beside her. You remember? It wasn't a question. Zero kept her breathing steady. I don't know what you're talking about. You lie poorly. She opened her eyes. I remember. The words caught. A single image surfaced. Golden leaves falling around two children. I remember someone. The old instructor remained silent. My brother. The confession escaped before she could stop it. The old man's posture stiffened. Brother? I don't know his face. I don't know his name. I only know. She pressed trembling fingers against her chest. He exists. The instructor looked around carefully before kneeling beside her. His cracked mask concealed little now. Fear filled his visible eye. You must never say that again. Why? Because memories spread. She frowned. Memories don't spread. They do here. He stood quickly. And if they discover yours survived? His voice dropped to almost nothing. They'll finish what the initiation failed to do. That night, someone entered her room. She awoke instantly. A shadow stood beside her bed. No mask. No robes. Only darkness. Before she could speak, the stranger placed a finger against their lips. Quiet. The voice belonged to a woman. Older. Exhausted. They're listening. Zero slowly sat upright. Who are you? I don't remember. The woman smiled sadly. Neither do you. You remember enough to come here. I remember enough to know we're both already dead. Cold spread through the room. What do you mean? The woman looked toward the tiny mirror hanging above the wash basin. Never speak while reflections are watching. Zero turned instinctively. The mirror reflected the room. The bed. Herself. The woman. Wasn't there. Zero's blood froze. She looked back. The woman still stood beside the bed. Smiling. You see. What are you? I forgot. The answer sounded almost amused. Listen carefully. She leaned close. The order doesn't erase memories. Zero frowned. Then what? It feeds them somewhere else. The room suddenly grew colder. Footsteps echoed outside. The woman stepped backward. They're coming. Wait. Find the first library. What library? You'll remember where it is. I don't remember anything. You will. The footsteps stopped outside the door. 3 slow knocks. The woman sighed. They've found me again. The door burst open. Masked instructors flooded the room. Zero spun toward them. The woman had vanished. Only empty darkness remained. The instructors searched every corner. Nothing. Finally, one turned toward Zero. Were you speaking? She hesitated. Every instinct screamed to tell the truth. Instead, no. The instructor studied her, then nodded, returned to sleep. As they left, the oldest instructor paused. He looked directly at the mirror. His masked reflection shook its head. Not him. The reflection. The instructor quietly whispered, another one escaped. Then they were gone. The following morning, Zero couldn't stop staring at mirrors. Every polished surface, every pool of water, every piece of silver. Sometimes, for only an instant, her reflection moved a heartbeat too late. Watching her, learning her, training intensified. The recruits dwindled. Some disappeared after failing examinations. Others simply stopped existing. No one spoke of them afterward. It was as though forgetting had become contagious. One afternoon, the instructors led the remaining recruits into a vast chamber beneath the monastery. Thousands of candles burned with blue flames. In the center stood a colossal tree. Its bark was white as bone. Its branches carried no leaves. Instead, thousands of strips of parchment hung from every limb. The air whispered constantly. Not from wind, from paper. What is this? Zero asked before she could stop herself. An instructor answered calmly. The tree of forgotten names. Every recruit knelt. Zero remained standing. She looked closer. The parchment wasn't blank. Each strip contained writing. Names. Hundreds. Thousands. Millions. Some fresh. Some faded nearly beyond recognition. The instructor smiled beneath his mask. When a recruit surrenders their past, he gently touched one strip. Their name is preserved. Zero stepped closer. Her heart pounded. One parchment fluttered despite the still air. It seemed to reach toward her. She couldn't explain why. Drawn by something deeper than thought, she extended her hand. The moment her fingertips brushed the parchment, a memory exploded inside her. A little boy running through sunlight, laughing, holding her hand, his voice clearer than ever before. If they ever take our names. He smiled. Find mine first. The vision shattered. Zero staggered backward, gasping. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She knew that voice. She knew it. Not his face. Not his name. But she knew he was real. And he had expected this to happen. The blue flames around the chamber suddenly turned crimson. Every parchment on the tree began rustling violently. The whispers became screams. The instructors looked upward in horror. One shouted, "Impossible." Another pointed directly at Zero. The tree recognized her. Before anyone could move, a single strip of parchment tore itself free from the branches. It floated through the crimson fire, across the chamber, and landed gently in Zero's trembling hand. Only 2 words were written upon it. Find him. The candles extinguished all at once. Darkness swallowed the chamber, and somewhere deep beneath the monastery, something ancient opened its eyes. For more stories, like and subscribe.